Welcome to another episode of Jazz J Man coming at you live. Hey, look, let me go on and cut through the chase. But look, check this out. What I'm going to talk about is the incident that happened on Juneteenth in Wilson, North Carolina at Synergy Auto. But before I give you my dialogue and context on it, I want you to listen to this video of what this white woman said about it. I want you to listen to what she said about it, and then I'll comment. So check this out.
This video is for the employees of Synergy Auto in Wilson, North Carolina, but please feel free to stick around because this can benefit a lot of people. So after watching the video clip that you guys had posted, thinking that it would justify the comments that you had made and trying to blame her for being an angry black woman when she was very calm and demure and just simply requested her keys and took her business elsewhere, I am here to let you know that something that I have learned from the black people in my life, as well as black people on TikTok who do a fabulous job of educating others, is that it is not black people's responsibility to educate you on everything, especially when it has to deal with the tragic histories and atrocities that have happened to black people through generations, their ancestors, themselves, everything. It is your job as a white person to educate yourself so that you do not sound ignorant like you did in that video clip. So now here I am as one white person to another to do this workload for you and educate you on what is Juneteenth. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring that all enslaved people were now free. Because of the lack of communication and not having too many Union soldiers and allies in the state of Texas, people did not spread the word, and there were over 250,000 enslaved people who still did not know 2 years later, in the year 1865, when the Union General Gordon Granger showed up with some Union troops to declare the Emancipation Proclamation and notified all of these enslaved people that they were no longer enslaved. This was, yes, 2 years after he had signed this. So these people were still surviving, not living, in slavery for 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. This happened on June 19th in 1865, which is why Juneteenth is always on June 19th. Believe it or not, Texas was actually the first state many years before the entire country to acknowledge Juneteenth as a holiday because they recognized the significance in Black American history. The holiday did not become a national holiday until the year 2021. So think about that for a second. 1865 to 2021. It was not a recognized national holiday. And as one of the guys joked, I think it has something to do with reparations. It is not reparations because, of course, this celebration was had by black people since 1866. This was not a white person's holiday. Can white people participate? Absolutely. Should white people have their own Juneteenth without black people involved? No. Some more significance to Juneteenth is where it is tied to the acknowledgement of how difficult it was, because basically what they did was they said, yep, you're free, but did not help support them in any way, shape, or form. And 99% of enslaved people were not allowed to have an education. So they were freed, but then they were not supported. They were not given education. They were not taught how to do anything. They were not given money to do anything. Mind you, these people had worked their entire lives for free. They did not have a dime to their name and had to somehow figure out how to survive not being enslaved. After Juneteenth, there was nearly 4 million enslaved people who now needed to get an education in order to survive in society, which is also something that allows us to acknowledge the fact that they needed to create higher education institutions specifically for Black Americans. So that is why between 1861 and 1900, over 90 higher education institutions were created for Black people. That is why we have those institutions. People have created these different fallacies in their mind about why we have those institutions and that is somehow reverse racism, but in reality it's not. It's because Black people were not allowed into higher education institutions with the white counterparts because they had no money. They had no resources, they had no support. There were people who didn't have their family with them anymore because they had been shipped off and sold all across the nation. So that was another piece that people were trying to figure out as well during this time. So you could say that Juneteenth is kind of a piece of reparations because it is allowing us to acknowledge the atrocities that Black Americans have suffered at the hands of white people for centuries. The least that we can do as white people is understand the atrocities that these people went through, that the ancestors went through, that it's still affecting people to this day, and the systems that we currently have set up that still amplify these atrocities and work on becoming better. We, as white people, need to become better. We need to do better. And we need to recognize and acknowledge the suffering that these people experienced and understand that it does not always have to be about us. That is one of the hardest things for people to understand because they are so egocentric, is that you don't realize how focused you are on yourself, that you are not acknowledging the suffering of others. So employees and that one lady in Synergy Auto in Wilson, North Carolina, I hope that you guys learned something from this video and also learned that you need to watch what you say and make sure that you're not ignorant about things. Hope this helps.
Now check this out. This company, Synergy Auto, they fucked around and posted what happened in the lobby of their business, but they thought that the audio wasn't working. And they posted that shit. So when they posted it, they ended up getting a whole bunch of backlash behind that shit. But that Black lady makes me proud to be a Black American. She didn't yell, she didn't scream, she didn't get an attitude or any of that. She just asked for her keys back and she just left their place of business. Now, I know damn well if you know about the holiday Martin Luther King, I know damn well you knew about Juneteenth. But see, now you motherfuckers, y'all done got your ass in a pickle and now you apologizing. Let me tell you something. And I don't hate to say this because I know it's a fucking fact and I know it's the truth. When white people get caught up in their bullshit doing racist things, and then they come back and they apologize, they're only apologizing because they got caught. That's why they're apologizing, because they got caught. However, what it was, or whatever it was that came out of their mouths, that shit was in their heart. And a lot of them, shit like that is always going to be in their heart. So as far as I'm concerned, and I speak for people like myself, I'm not just speaking for me personally, fuck your apology and you can take it and shove it up your ass. Because we already know that you don't mean it. And me, myself personally, I'm from North Carolina. But I tell you this, I would never bring my car to you motherfuckers to do anything on it. I wouldn't want you to do a damn thing. And if y'all have any more little outlets with that name, I wouldn't do business with you. And I hope every black person in Wilson, North Carolina, and those little towns and counties surrounding Wilson, North Carolina, I hope all of those black people do not do any business with you ever again. I hope your business collapse. Peace, love. Oh, well, I'm not going to give y'all no hug. Good. This is what I'll say. Goodbye. Oh, that's that bird calling me. Goodbye. Hey, now that this video has ended, it's time for you to click on that subscribe button below in the comments. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. We live in a world where we can all agree to disagree. Agreed? Thank you for your support.